Imagine you load into a game of Overwatch. You already know how this is about to go. Q finishes, someone insta-locks Genji, the team comp already looks dodgy, you've got 2 tanks and 4 damage dealers. Great. So you're just sitting there thinking, yeah, this is probably my last game tonight. Then somehow, 20 minutes later, you're still there. And that's always been the weird thing about Overwatch to me. From the outside, it looks like a game people should have given up on ages ago. The updates are all over the place, the balance feels messy, Blizzard keeps getting dragged into some new controversy, and yet, people still keep coming back. So why? Love. People said the community loved the game too much to leave. The devotion looked irrational. The players looked emotionally trapped, but that explanation does not account for a simpler possibility. What if they were not staying because they loved it? What if they were staying because nothing else existed? For almost a decade, Overwatch occupied a very specific corner of gaming, almost completely alone. Not shooters in general, there are thousands of those. Not hero games either. A very particular shape. A colourful team shooter built around strong characters, distinct personalities. Abilities that feel like expressions of identity rather than bundles of statistics. A place where the roster feels more like a cast than a toolkit. Many games tried to approach that space. Some leaned into competitive shooting, some into abilities, some into cartoon aesthetics, yet none quite combined those ingredients in the same way. So, when players complained about Overwatch and then kept playing it, the behaviour looked like loyalty. But imagine liking a very specific food and discovering only one restaurant in your city serves it. You complain about the service, you complain about the prices, you complain about the chef. You still go back because the menu exists nowhere else. You can only find your favourite character in this one game. For years, that was the secret behind Overwatch. It held a strange monopoly, a design monopoly. Then something interesting happened. A game called Marvel Rivals appeared. Suddenly, the cage opened. Players flooded into it immediately. People who had spent years criticizing Blizzard rushed towards the alternative. It looked like confirmation of the monopoly theory. The moment another option existed, people escaped, except something strange happened next. Many of those players came back, not all of them. Plenty stayed away, yet a large number returned to Overwatch even after finally seeing a real alternative. Now the question changes. If people stayed before because they had no choice, why come back after they finally did? At first, the answers sounded familiar. Nostalgia, habit, community, muscle memory. Those explanations explain some of it. None of them explain the pull. So look closer at the design. Take Tracer. You could describe her mechanically. Blink mobility, pulse pistols, a rewind ability. That description is accurate, but also misses the point. Tracer is not a kit of abilities. She is a personality expressed through mechanics. Fast, impulsive, always moving forward. Even her reset ability feels less like strategy and more like optimism, given physical form. Or consider Reinhardt. In a spreadsheet, he is a tank with a barrier and a charge. In the game, he feels like conviction made playable. You move forward because that is what Reinhardt does. The charge button is not only mobility, it is belief that momentum solves problems. Each hero in early Overwatch followed that strange rule. The mechanics and the personality were the same idea, and once you see that pattern, something else becomes obvious. Very few games have fully reproduced it. Many copy the surface features. Ability shooters, hero rosters, team compositions, yet the characters often feel like toolkits wearing costumes. Overwatch, at its best, built characters where identity and gameplay were inseparable. A player did not only pick an optimal strategy, they picked a perspective on the fight. Over time, Blizzard drifted away from that philosophy. Competitive balance pressures, esports ambitions, the studio made many questionable decisions along the way, yet the foundation remained, which explains the strange loop players fell into. They were not loyal to the company. Many openly distrusted it. They were not loyal to the update cycle either. They were loyal to a design idea that still lived inside the game, even when everything around it looked unstable. So, when alternatives appeared, people explored them. Of course they did. But when the match ended and they asked themselves what experience they actually wanted, many found themselves opening Overwatch again, out of habit. The thing they liked had never really been replaced. And if you go back to that first moment, sitting in queue, watching someone instantly lock Genji, while you wonder whether this match will be chaos or brilliance, the scene looks slightly different. From the outside, it once looked like obsession. From the inside, it might have been something simpler. Someone returning to the only place that still does a very particular idea well. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. One actual content fix too. I changed you 2 tanks and 4 damage dealers to you've got 2 tanks and 4 damage dealers, and habit to habit.